Hello and welcome to Subway NIBFA today. I'm Barry Green. We've got action from 4 April matches on the way. We've 2 under-13 games, 1 under-14 clash and an under-15 match. Highlights of all those on the way. Today we'll be joined by the Irish Football Association's Director of Football Development, Michael Boyd, and we'll be getting Michael's view on our 4 featured games as well as finding out what the IFA's aspirations are for youth football here in Northern Ireland. First up, we have a ding-dong battle between Cliftonville and Bertie Peacock in the Under-13 National League. The match was played in Antrim and the Reds came from 2 goals down to take a point. Johnny Martin is on commentary.
Cliftonville kicked off against Bertie Peacock Youth Under-13s at Allen Park in the National League fixture, Cliftonville in the red and Peacock in the black. It was the Coleraine side that started the game strongly. Good work from Jack Elliott down the left wing allowed a shooting opportunity for a teammate, but his effort just went over the crossbar. More Bertie Peacock pressure followed. This time Keelan Roy tested Ross Regan in the Cliftonville goal, who saved well and Cliftonville regained possession. From a corner from the left side, Bertie Peacock Youth opened the scoring when this lovely turn-in shot from Leon Boyd nestled in the bottom left corner. 1-0 to Bertie Peacock in the 7th minute. A corner from the other side almost produced the 2nd goal of the game. This wonderful ball in allowed Rory Moffat to have a shooting opportunity at the back post, but his effort was cleared right on the goal line. In the first half dominated by Peacock, they doubled the lead through a counter-attacking move, and Jack Elliott's powerful strike was too hot to handle for the Cliftonville goalkeeper. 2-0 in the 23rd minute. With half-time approaching, Cliftonville needed a response, and this Michael Morgan shot from distance forced a good save from Conor Henry, who palmed the ball away to safety. Into the second half, and Cliftonville started it strongly. This driving run from Sean Moore, pass for Jake Scott, whose deflected shot flew to the top corner to give Cliftonville a lifeline. 2-1 now the scoreline. Then came a spitting incident off camera. Cliftonville's Michael Morgan sent off, much to his dismay. The Reds reduced to 10 men. Cliftonville, to their credit, kept plugging away and got the equaliser when Paddy Quinn rifled the ball across the face of goal to make it 2 each. There was another red card right at the death in this game. Taylor McBride was sent his marching orders for a push. Full time it finished 2 each.
Well, I'm delighted to say I've been joined by Director of Football Development at the Irish Football Association, Michael Boyd. Michael, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for the invite.
Michael, tell us a bit about your role at the IFA. What does a regular week look like for you?
So I'm Director of Football Development, so we look after grassroots and youth football. We look after schools and futsal, and we also look after the Football for All campaign. So every week's very different. So we always have many projects on the go. Actually, we did a survey of how many different projects we're running across the country, and there's over 70.
Goodness me.
So there's a lot of diversity to the work. I also look after refereeing and elite girls football as well, so it's always busy.
No, not a lot to do then.
Always busy, but lovely to be here today.
I mean, let's focus on youth football. For me, some of my guests this season haven't agreed with me, but for me, over the last 10 to 15 years, I've seen a huge advancement in the youth product here. Would you be in agreement with me?
Yeah, I think the small-sided games, we now have over 52 venues across the country with about 12,000 young people playing in the small-sided games culture every Saturday. So I think that has had a big impact on youth football, and because the children are learning their skills in an age-appropriate environment. That really helps develop the technique. So I think we're in a really good place in that age bracket.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, when we look back at the Euros, for instance, in Northern Ireland's success there, how much impact do you feel that has had in terms of publicity of the campaign, us getting out of the group, has had on the youth today?
Yeah, that's had a big impact. During the camps, the holiday camps in 2016, we noticed a massive spike in people wanting to get involved, and our participation levels actually shot up far more than we expected that year. We were sort of expecting every year like a 10% rise, and in 2016 it was more like a 20% rise. Loads of kids were in the Northern Ireland tops, and dreaming about being Gareth McCauley or Niall McGinn. So it was fantastic. Yeah,
it's brilliant to see. We'll touch more on that later in the programme about your role and the IFA's aims and objectives as well. But turning to Cliftonville's comeback against Bertie Peacock in that first game, the Coleraine boys had looked to have it in the bag after 2 excellent first half goals, didn't they?
Oh, they were great goals. I think Leon Boyd's strike was a cracker. It was a really good game, but fair play to Cliftonville, because they showed great resilience to get back into that match. Yeah,
it was young Paddy Quinn who popped up with the Cliftonville equaliser. He and his teammates, I think they will have learnt quite a lot about themselves in getting back.
Yeah, they showed great determination and great grit to get back into that match, so fair play to them.
Great, Michael. Well, Cliftonville now sit second in the table, 1 point behind Linfield. Bertie Peacock, meanwhile, are third, 4 points back, but they have 3 matches in hand. Now for our second game, we feature 2 teams in the lower half of the under-13 table. This game also took place at Allen Park in Antrim. TriStar took on Warren Point, and we saw 7 goals. Lord James, watch this one.
TriStar boys welcomed Warren Point Town under-13s to Allen Park in Antrim on Saturday morning. Breezy yet dry conditions welcoming the young Chargers. The home side attacking the left in red and white stripes, Warren Point in yellow. Just 2 minutes in, TriStar were awarded a penalty for a pushback from a corner, appearing to mystify Warren Point Town somewhat, but allowing Duffy McCallion to step up to the spot and convert with his right foot. A nice ball slid down the left channel, bypassing the fullback, found its way to Warren Point's Ethan Souza, who produced a great run, followed by a composed finish at the near post to equalise. Souza turned provider next, first upsetting Connor Barr's plans, then launching full throttle into TriStar's half. His fantastic ball found Ryan Clark, whose lovely, lightly curled shot put Warren Point ahead 2-1. Soon after, Warren Point saw a third. The first effort was blocked before Clark pounced from just outside the area, leaving Jake Miller with no chance, and an early brace for talented Clark, marked with some nice flossing. Souza's prowess on the left flank was showcased yet again in the second half, competently keeping control and holding off Shay Gallagher before picking out Stephen Reid. Reid's first effort was saved, but he quickly took a couple of touches from the rebound before finishing. Aiming to build up to another goal in a similar fashion, this time Souza's cross was cleared. Only as far, however, as teammate Aaron Downey, whose speculative shot from distance was lined up and powerfully fired over the keeper. A strong contender for goal of the month. With 20 minutes still left to play, Warren Point's demolition job was nearing completion, while TriStar, however, saw no way back from it all. After some good work in possession in their opposition's half, Harvey Simpson's initial effort was cleared close to the goal line before Callum Morgan netted with a near-post finish. Warren Point Town blowing TriStar boys away 6-1.
So Michael, what a turnaround. Warren Point were 1-0 down to that early goal and yet hit back to win 6-1.
Yeah, no, it was a very well taken penalty actually.
It was.
But yeah, Warren Point were on fire with Souza really pulling the strings.
Yeah, Ethan Souza and Ryan Clark were the two I think that were most central to that Point victory. This has come up a few times during this season's programming. At that age group, it's under 13, they move from under 12s at 9-a-side to 11-a-sides, the bigger nets, the bigger pitches. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's interesting at the minute the home nations have all got together to look at how we develop youth football up to under 13 through the small-sided games. So we're just at a point where we're trying to standardise all the rules right across England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales. And yeah, I think that needs to be looked at, because a couple of those goals, it's just out of the reach of the goalkeeper because the goals are too big, unfortunately.
Yeah. So maybe something about a 75% goal maybe at that stage?
Something like that could be the solution, but hopefully we'll be in a place in the near future to decide what we're doing in that area.
Great, we'll keep tabs on that. That 6-1 win for Warrenpoint means they've lost just one of their last 5. TriStar, meanwhile, have registered just the 1 victory from 7. Now it's time for our half-time team talk. As Director of Football Development for the Irish FA, Michael, you're perfectly placed to add your expertise today. So let's start at the beginning in terms of your career in football. And I particularly want to open up discussion about behind the scenes and getting involved in the administration side of the game. So would you see a career pathway for young people to come through to do what you do?
There's so much opportunity now compared to when I started off. So when I joined the IFA, originally I started off as a placement student, worked for 8 months for free, and there was only 20 staff in the whole of the association.
Back at Windsor Avenue?
Back at Windsor Avenue, yeah. So I was very fortunate. I got in to work with the mini soccer team. It was people like Ian Stewart, Paul Kirk, Mal Donaghy, Shane McCulloch, Spike Hill, Jim Grattan, Trevor Erskine and Kenny Shields. So they were all my mentors when I came in as that student.
Not a bad bunch to be
involved. It was a great place to learn, and lots of really knowledgeable people, so I really enjoyed that. Today there's 140 roughly, full-time staff in the association. It's a bigger business. You've got the main body of the IFA, you've got the Stadium Development Company, you've got the Northern Ireland Football League, you've got the Irish FA Foundation, and in the foundation, which is all the participation side of the business, there's 70 roles within there, so there's a lot more opportunity to work in football in Northern Ireland. And we recently did a survey of people from Northern Ireland working outside in the football world, in different countries, and 120 people got back to us.
Goodness me.
And there's people doing amazing work right across the world who are from Northern Ireland, working in football. So yeah, I would definitely encourage people to consider it as an avenue. Yeah,
a couple of big names, and I think we mentioned them offer, Liverpool's Doctor being one of them, and Barry Hunter, I remember playing for Northern Ireland back in the day. He's chief scout at Liverpool.
Yeah, no, there's actually Liverpool, Everton, Man United, Man City. There's people from Northern Ireland, working there and making a big difference to those massive, businesses. So it's definitely an avenue that young people can get involved in. One of the things I wanted to say today was we now offer structured work experience programs, and if young people want to get involved, they just have to contact Gareth Allen at the Irish FA, and Gareth can set those work experience programs up. But I think it's good for young people to get in and see all the different avenues that are there, because it's not just coaching. There's loads of different avenues in the business side of it as well.
It's great for me as a fan to see how Northern Ireland, the Irish Football Association, the structures have developed, and they keep developing. So you make a very valid point there. Just because originally set out and you see a career in the game for yourself, if that doesn't quite work out, there is a career for you behind the scenes.
Oh, I massively my own football journey ended in not being selected, really for Northern Ireland under 15s, but I still had a love for the game and a passion for the game. And I always remember myself and Stevie Craigan being told we're not selected for the Northern Ireland under 15 team, and we're both in tears, holding each other. But basically, Stephen regrouped, and he went on to be at my age group. He got 50 plus caps. He was the most outstanding, and he didn't get selected, at under 15, under 16. My passion for football, basically everything I did in education, whether it was my degree or my masters, I used football as the hook for it. So I was always going to be connected to football one way or another.
What's testament to you? What would you say then? Obviously, you're a director now at the Irish Football Association. What is your greatest personal achievement?
Greatest personal achievement? That's a tough one. So much of what we do, is a team effort. I suppose probably the two things I'm proudest of are the Football for All campaign at the international matches, working in partnership with the fans, because I think that made a big difference to the culture at Northern Ireland games. And then more recently, the thing I'm really proud of is the Let Them Play youth football strategy, which we launched in September 2015. And really that's starting to make a big difference, I think, in how youth football's developed across the country. So those are probably the two things I'm proudest to be connected to.
Being the IFA's representative, what would you say is the association's aims? What are their aspirations for youth football here in Northern Ireland going forward then?
Yeah, so we want to have 100,000 young people involved in youth football by 2025. At the minute it's about 70,000. So for us the next big challenge is how do we partner up, with other organisations. We did a survey recently and there's 50 other organisations out there doing football development in schools and doing camps. So we're interested in how do we identify the best organisations out there and partner with them so that we can extend our reach. How do we improve the quality of the programmes that we've got already in place? One of the big ideas over the next couple of years is how do we set up let them play hubs where we have our staff working more strategically together. So you've got a regional grassroots development officer, a schools and futsal coach and a football for all officer and a youth development coordinator, all working out of the same office at a council-based facility or at a university or a community facility, so that we provide a better service to the local community. So that's a really interesting sort of concept at the minute, and how we develop that will have to be done in partnership, obviously.
When you talk about the influence of futsal, is there a blueprint to which the IFA are looking at, maybe one of the other countries throughout Europe, that actually you say, well, they've done brilliantly over the last kind of 5 to 10 years, and we want to at least, invest ourselves in the better parts of that? Yes.
Well, when we were developing the youth strategy in 2015, it took us about 8 months to pull that together, and we looked at lots of examples. We looked at Scotland, we looked at England, we looked at Spain, we looked at Belgium, we looked at a number of different interesting models, and what we ended up doing was we designed something that we felt was the right fit for Northern Ireland. However, I would say the Chris van der Hagen from the Belgium FA has been like a mentor for the programme. And Chris, they launched their youth strategy in 2000, and Chris was involved back then, so they were sort of 15 years ahead of us. And Belgium's a very interesting country as well, because it's got quite a divided society in Belgium, so they are managing and developing football, serving the community through football in a very interesting place, and so are we. So,
very much so, yeah.
So we've learned a lot from Chris. He's been a bit of a mentor to us, and UEFA set up these study group visits, and we always ask to have the Belgium FA involved when we're there.
Well, that's superb. It's it's good to hear from the fans' point of view. I'm sure our listeners will be pleased, given that you look at the likes of Belgium, the players have developed in recent years. Your De Bruyne, your Hazards, the two brothers, Lukaku even. So if we could kind of get on a par, I would say, with Belgium, we would be going places, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we're really at the start of the journey. Yeah. And when Belgium launched all their new DNA, their new youth strategy. Chris was involved in it, and he said it took 5 to 10 years before they got the whole country buying into what they want to do. So we're right at the start of that journey, and we've still a lot of work to do in house to produce the right documents and the right support for the football family. So yeah, it's a very interesting time for local football.
Sounds amazing. Good to work there at this time. Sounds of it.
Definitely, it's very exciting. Yeah.
Superb, Michael. Thanks for now. Now it's time for our final two matches. Both took place last weekend at Allen Park. 6th place Glentoran took on 7th placed Birdie Peacock Youth in the Under-15 National League. Mark Wesley is on commentary.
Hi everyone, it's a lovely sunny day here at Allen Park. Great conditions for this Under-15s duel between Glentoran and Birdie Peacock Youth. Birdie Peacock getting the game underway and attacking the goal to our left. All the signs early on pointing to a tough midfield battle, but a mistake and a slip from Peacock's number 5 Oisin McCrudden was the lead to the opening goal. Colin McBride picking the ball up just on the edge of the area, then a firm strike from the young forward giving goalkeeper Dean Miller absolutely no chance. Glentoran 1, Birdie Peacock 0. A Glentoran opener coming just after 2 minutes. Are we going to be treated to another high scoring game? Well, it certainly looked that way, and in 11 minutes Adam McComb showed some silky touches before finding teammate Lewis Nevin. However, young Lewis, who took a shot on from outside the 18-yard area, could barely get enough power to trouble the goalkeeper. Glentoran almost got a second with a set play from around 25 yards out. Seamus Duffy's effort not quite powerful enough. Glentoran weren't to have it all their own way, and after number 7 Sebastian Rice broke Peacock equaliser, but Bradley McCartney, who had the final say, couldn't find a way through that Glens defence. As the first half ebbed away, more pressure from Birdie Peacock would have the Glens backs against the wall. This effort saved by the keeper. Rice again unlucky, as was Matthew Walker. Pressure though for the equaliser getting stronger. So at half-time, Glentoran have a slender 1-goal advantage, that all-important second proving elusive, as from this attack after a brilliant cross into the Peacock box. And a dreadful miss kick, that should have really been the second. Would the Glens regret it? Birdie Peacock were getting closer. And from a set play, the ball rebounding from the Glentoran wall, 2 efforts from number 4 Carl Hutchinson, who again couldn't generate enough power to beat the keeper. More great play from Birdie Peacock would see them finally beat the stubborn Glentoran defence. And when number 16 Adam Miller found number 3 Matthew Walker, his left foot rocket giving the keeper no chance. 1-1, great goal. Was there more drama in this game to come? Well, in the dying minutes, Birdie Peacock lost the ball and inside their own half. That led to an attack down the Peacock left. And when the cross finds number 9 Seamus Duffy, it takes a timely challenge from number 5 McCrudden to keep it at 1-1. The game finishing Glentoran 1, Birdie Peacock Youth 1.
So Michael, Keelan McBride's opener for Glentoran, well, it owed mostly to some haphazard defending really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't a great first touch where he slipped, unfortunately, but that happens and you learn from it. And, but it was a good finish.
Birdie Peacocks had periods of concerted pressure in that game, and it paid off with Matthew Walker's stunning strike. You liked that, didn't you?
I thought that was fantastic. From the moment it left his left foot, it just looked like a rocket. I don't think Pat Jennings would have saved that one.
No. So I think all in all, that game, I think it was the right result in the end.
Yeah, I think so. It was a fair reflection of the game, and both sets of players did really well.
Yeah. Thanks, Michael. No surprises that match ended in a draw then. Both teams sit 6th and 7th, respectively, in the standings. Now it's on to our final game this week, and it's an under-14B National League match involving Ridgeway Rovers and TriStar Boys. Let's see who came out on top in this one. Ridgeway Rovers and TriStar Boys met at Allen Park in the Under-14 National League in exceptional playing conditions. Ridgeway in blue and TriStar in the red and white colours. Ridgeway fashioned a great chance after just 8 minutes. It was Connor Harris surging through on goal, but unfortunately for his team, he shot wide of the TriStar goal. Despite that, Ridgeway scored a glorious opener just 3 minutes later. Ryan McKay played a 1-2 with Finbar Macklin, who in turn teed up Rhys Annett, whose touch and finish was right out of the top drawer. McKay and Annett were involved again in Ridgeway's second goal. Matthew Russell played in Adam Willis, and his shot was just too hot to handle for Conor O'Neill in the TriStar goal. 2-0 to Ridgeway after just 30 minutes. TriStar did hit back before the break. Good build-up play saw Ewan McGilloway switch play down the left. Shay Feeney fed the ball into Michael McLaughlin, and he steered it home into the roof of the net.
Yes, Michael! Carter! Don't be pumping the trap!
In the second half, Ridgeway restored their 2-goal buffer. TriStar's defenders assumed the ball would run out. Annett kept it in. His pass was just behind Carter Cowan. Cowan, though, slid the ball to Cameron Irwin, who found the bottom corner brilliantly to make it 3-1. It was then 4-1 in 56 minutes. This short corner to Ryan McKay allowed the Rovers player to cross for Max Shannon, and he powered his header into the top corner. A superb finish from the Ridgeway player. On the stroke of full time, Ridgeway scored for a final time. Rory McEnany was the player with the assist. Matthew Russell's first time shot giving O'Neill little chance. The perfect finish for Ridgeway, who recorded a 5-1 win over TriStar to take the 3 points. So Michael, let's talk about that opening goal for Ridgeway. Great build-up play and an outstanding finish by Rhys Annett.
Yes, the number 8 does great down the left, and it's a brilliant finish. He puts it right in the top corner. Great to see the Ridgeway boys all play with a certain amount of joy. That's a great reflection on the coaches, so great to see.
And its movement in particular, where he went one way and then he turned back inside the defender. I mean, the defender didn't know what was happening, did he?
Oh, it's world-class movement, really, from such a young player. Brilliant goal. Love the way he runs off with a little sheer hand up in the air too. It's great.
Yeah, he knew it was in the top corner as soon as he hit it, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a great finish.
Quality. Well, Ridgeway were clinical in front of goal during the game. Matthew Russell rounded off a quality 5-1 win with yet another cracker strike.
Yeah, no, that was a brilliant strike as well. Some really good play in that match.
Yeah. Again, back to a situation where, you know, the nets, maybe even at that age group for a smaller keeper, they're difficult to keep out, aren't they?
Yeah, no, there's definitely an issue there, and you know, the nets need to be reduced to help the keepers out a bit.
But you make a good point. Ridgeway, they played with flair during that game, and you can see that they're being coached in the right way.
Like it's for me, it's great to see, you know, the left back getting in amongst the goals during open play, the players, just the freedom that they can express themselves with, and that's a great reflection on all the coaches and the volunteers involved.
Yeah, it is very much. That win moves Ridgeway Rovers clear of the drop zone. They sit 8 points behind TriStar, who have played 3 games more. That's it for this week. Thanks, Michael, for joining us today on Subway NIBFA Today.
Thank you.
You enjoyed your time.
It's been a great experience. It's a different day out for me, for sure.
Great job. Thanks also to you for tuning in. We'll see you again next month when we'll have the end of season cup and plate finals. Until then, we'll see you next time.